Hey guys, so this week we're going to be talking about daily / camera bags, and the bag we're going to be taking a look at is the Wandrd Prvke. And so I've had my eye on this bag for a while. I've heard a ton of great things, seen some really cool videos of all the different features that this bag has to offer, and it does seem like it'd be an awesome bag for a lot of different situations. And so I was really excited when Wandrd reached out to me to see if I'd like to feature a bag on the channel. And I gotta say, as soon as I started testing it out, I was almost a little overwhelmed at how many different features the bag seemed to offer. You know, it reminded me a lot of when I first started to think about how to review a nomadic travel pack, which we've done a few different videos on. You know, that bag also has a ton of different features, and I felt like I almost had to make a little checklist of things to run through. And so is the case with this bag as well. You know, this video is going to be a little bit longer as we dive into all the different things that the bag has to offer, and I have to say overall it's been fantastic to use on a day-to-day basis and even for some light trips, and I'm just really excited to finally be able to share it with you guys. So I want to go ahead and thank Wandrd for sending the bag over for me to test out, and I'm excited to dive in and showcase all the different features that the bag has to offer. So let's take a closer look at the Prvke from Wandrd. So jumping into the bag, the first thing I want to talk about is the overall aesthetics and look of the bag. The bag itself has a very distinct look. It has a really nice kind of roll top opening at the top. It has a nice big metal buckle that's very distinct to this bag, as well as some longer tote handles at the top, which are really flexible. And I'll definitely go into these in a little more detail in a second. But overall, the look of the bag is very distinct. It's covered in this really durable feeling tarpaulin type material all over the bag, and has really quality YKK zippers with aqua guards on them to help keep water out. So it definitely feels like the bag is going to be a great fit in a variety of different environments. So if you're hiking, or if you get caught in a rainstorm, or if you're just walking around through the city, this bag is going to help keep all of your gear protected. As we go through this video, I'll definitely be kind of comparing this here and there to the Peak Design Everyday Backpack and the Boundary Supply Prima system. And you know, those are both really well-made bags, but I feel like the tarpaulin material found on this bag is really going to add just an extra layer of water resistance than the materials that those bags use. So although they're all really well built, I definitely prefer this one, and I definitely have a little bit more peace of mind that everything that I have inside is going to be well protected. I also really like that the roll top opening offers a really good, you know, kind of secure closing as opposed to the top loading designs of both the Peak Design and the Prima system. The Prvke bag is actually offered in two different sizes, so there's a 21 liter version and a 31 liter version. The version that I have here is the 21 liter. As I think this is actually kind of a perfect size for a daily bag, and because of the roll top opening at the top, it offers a little bit of flexibility in the amount of stuff that you can add here, so it'll give you about 4 to 5 more liters of space. So overall, the 21 liter size just really spoke to me, whereas, you know, the 31 liter bag looks great, especially if you're wanting to use this as just kind of your bag for one bag travel. But for the purposes of this video, I was really excited to just get my hands on the 21 liter and just try to use this as my daily carry. So as we'll get into later in the video, the items that I have here are all the same items that I've included in all my other daily bag videos, you know, the same items that I also included in the video that I did for the Boundary Supply Prima system. And so, you know, just continuing with the size of the bag, as I mentioned, this is a 21 liter version of the bag, which is a really just great size. It's not too big, it's not too small. That's the same size as the GoRuck GR1 that I've used so much in the past. And I really like how well everything that I have fits into it. And more importantly, I love how slim the bag manages to stay, even when it's really full. The bag does have a little bit more of, I guess, a technical look, so it didn't fit quite as well into an office environment as some of the other bags that we've had in the channel. But overall, the size and shape of the bag have been really great. It's been really comfortable to wear. And you know, it's definitely been able to hold all the items that I typically want to carry with me on a day-to-day basis. And so continuing on with some of the more distinct elements of the bag, we've talked a little bit about it already, but it's worth going into a little more detail. So the bag at the top has these really nice kind of tote straps that allow you to hold the bag very comfortably at your side. I'm not usually a big fan of kind of having big straps that pop out of the top of the bag like this, but it is nice to have in this case. I feel like they were really well designed. The straps themselves have magnets to help keep them together, so they snap together very comfortably. They're very easy to open up as well if you want to get into the bag, and it's really nice for just holding the bag up or maybe hanging it from a hook or something. The tote straps feel like they're really well made and like they're going to hold up even when the bag has a lot of weight in it. And the handle itself is pretty comfortable. It's not quite as soft as you might want for holding this for a long period of time, but chances are you'll probably be wearing it most of the time. So I think that, you know, it's a really good compromise for being able to keep these straps a little bit thinner and less cumbersome. And so if you open up the tote straps of the bag, you can actually get into the roll top portion. And so as I mentioned earlier, the roll top is held down by this really sturdy feeling metal buckle here. I really love the quality of the materials used all throughout the bag, and that really sticks out here in this buckle. It just feels like this is never going to break or bend or anything like that. And it's very easy to hook and unhook. And so the roll top aspect of this bag is really cool because I feel like it offers an extra layer of protection against the elements. So I feel like being able to roll the bag really, prevents water from possibly slipping in, as opposed to some of the top loading bags like the Boundary Supply or the Peak Design bag, where sometimes it felt like there was a little bit of possibility that water could get in through the sides. And in addition to that, the roll top also offers the added benefit that you could extend the capacity of the bag. So when you open up the roll top to its fullest capacity, it offers about 4 to 5 more liters of space. And so if you're wanting to use this for a quick trip, this will give you a little bit more room and flexibility in what you can pack. And so the roll top itself is secured by these Velcro straps. And so there's straps all along this piece of the roll top to allow you to kind of make sure that the bag can be securely shut no matter what point it's actually rolled up to. So if you unroll it a good amount, you can loosen up the metal buckle and it'll come up here. And the bag has a variety of strong nylon loops here that you can attach this metal hook to, so that even if you have the roll top fully extended, there's still multiple points of closure to help make sure that it's securely closed and to ensure that your stuff is not going to fall out when you're walking around with it. So overall, really like how well the roll top was implemented here. And it's really nice that this bag works well as kind of a top loader and a clamshell. And so when you're using this as a roll top, you can see in there's tons of space for packing all the different items that you need to, or if you have taller items. If this was just a pure roll top backpack, I wouldn't really be a big fan of that, typically because once you start filling the bag up a lot, it's very difficult to kind of get at the items in the bottom of the bag. But this bag has a clamshell opening, which we'll take a look at in a little bit, which helps to mitigate that. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, and I think overall it was implemented really well. And so moving on to the straps and the back panel, I was super impressed with how comfortable this bag was to wear. The straps are really well padded. They have this really nice kind of soft gel-like material, and they're pretty thick, so they offer a good amount of padding. I also really like how wide the straps are, so if you have a lot of weight on your back, which you may very well do if you're carrying a lot of camera gear, it never feels like they're going to dig in or cause any sort of fatigue. And the gel material is really soft, so it feels great on your shoulders as you're wearing it around on a day-to-day basis. One thing about this material is that it does seem like it's going to build up a little bit more moisture than something a little more meshy that would provide slightly better airflow. But overall, I haven't noticed any major issues, and it's still been really comfortable to wear. The straps themselves have an adjustable sternum strap to help distribute some of the weight. And so they have a lot of cool different attachment points here on the straps. They have kind of this elastic band here as well, which works well for holding a lens cap. If you happen to be taking a picture and you need somewhere to put your lens cap, you can tuck that into the elastic strap here that's on the shoulder strap. Moving on to the back panel of the bag, this is super comfortable. It feels great against your back. It has the same kind of gel-like soft material that the straps seem to have all throughout the back. And so it's really well padded. It feels really soft. And even when I'm holding it with a lot of weight, it just feels great to wear this around the city on a day-to-day. There's a lot of elevation here on the different padding that the back panel offers to allow for airflow to come through and help reduce the amount of moisture that you have on your back. So just a really well thought out, and it just feels great to wear this bag even with a lot of weight. On the bottom here, there's 2 loops that you can use to attach the removable waist straps that Wandrd sells. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, we'll actually go into a little more detail on the accessories at the end of the video, but it's nice that you have the ability to add and remove the waist straps. If you don't have a lot of camera gear or you have a lighter load, they kind of just add a little bit of unnecessary straps in bulk. So it's nice that you have the choice to remove them or add them if you feel like you're going to need a little bit of help carrying all your weight. While we're on the back panel, I just want to go ahead and call out that they've included kind of this safety pocket here. So this is just a pocket where you can add something a little bit more delicate, such as a passport or a wallet. And this pocket sits right up against your back. So it's really well hidden to protect from any pickpockets or anything like that. The pocket itself is pretty slim, as it's meant to hold just something kind of thin and delicate. And so it has 2 dividers on the inside. It has just kind of one smaller mesh divider on the front. And so what I have here currently is my wallet from Nomadic, and so that fits in there very nicely. And so I've also included my field notes in here just for size comparison, but this would definitely fit a passport as well. So if I was traveling in another country and I had to have my passport with me during the day, this is definitely a spot where I would think about keeping it, as nobody would be able to get at it. And also it has a similar, very well guarded zipper to help keep water out, and I just think it was really well implemented overall. Continuing on with the outside of the bag, there are 2 compression straps, one on each side, which work great for attaching different gear to your bag. So if you have a tripod, this is a great place to attach that, or if you have a sweater or something like that. This is also great for compressing the bag down a little bit more if you want to make it slimmer and you don't have as much stuff with you on a day-to-day basis. And so diving into the rest of the pockets of the bag, the first thing I want to start out with is the water bottle compartment. So I was really excited to see that the bag has an external water bottle compartment, especially for daily bags. That's something that I really look for, and I love, having somewhere to place my water bottle. And so what I have here is the same water bottle that I've used in all my other videos, and that fits in there very comfortably. I really like how elastic this pocket is, and it goes pretty deep. So it has this, stretchy material here, and so it'll stretch out to hold a variety of sizes of water bottle. And the best thing, and I really love when bags do this, is that you can actually zip it up and compress it. So if you don't want to use it as you're walking around during the day, you can zip it up, and it helps give the bag an even slimmer look, and it helps it from just getting caught on anything. So I really love when bags have a feature like this. Next up, I want to talk about this cool little almost hidden compartment that Wandrd has here near the back of the bag. And so this has a really well protected YKK storm guarded zipper. And so this pocket is specifically made to hold your keys. There's a keychain loop on the inside that has, just a simple plastic a hook here, but very well implemented. It's easy to disattach, and it's really easy to reach at where this pocket is put. And I really like this style of clip. It makes it very easy to take your keys on and off. Currently what I have here is just my Gerber shard, as I really like to travel with that. But this is definitely a great spot to put your keys. I do wish that the clip itself was detachable, as opposed to having to unclip your keys. So kind of like what we saw with the boundary supply in the video that we did for that, where you could actually remove the key fob. That would have been a little bit nicer, but overall I think this was still well implemented. The key fob here itself is pretty short, so you'll definitely have to remove your key to be able to get at it. But I still like that they included a dedicated spot to put your keys that's really easy to reach. And the compartment itself actually has a little bit of depth. I was impressed that you could fit not only a keychain in here, but I was actually able to put a portable battery in here as well. And that's also just a good place to be able to reach that quickly. And so as you can see, the compartment itself goes about the length of my fingers. So it's a little bit more spacious than I thought it would be from the videos that I had seen. I thought this would be just big enough to hold your keys, but you can actually fit a few different things in here if you need to. On the front, the bag has a large quick access compartment that pretty much extends the full length of the bag. So this also has a really great, well protected zipper here. And this is a very simple compartment. It's definitely good for grabbing slimmer items that you might want to reach quickly, such as a Kindle. Currently what I have in here is my Moleskine notebook. And I also have an organizational pouch here that's a little bit flatter than some of the other ones that I have. And this just holds some of the smaller accessories that I wouldn't want floating around in this larger compartment. And so the compartment itself, as I mentioned, is pretty spacious. It wouldn't be great for holding bulkier items, so I wouldn't be able to put a big pair of headphones in here or anything like that. But it's really nice to be able to just access things quickly. As I mentioned, flatter items like a notebook or a Kindle, or if you want or if you have a magazine or something that you're going to read on a flight, this is definitely a great place to be able to put that and get to it quickly. The one thing to note about this compartment is that it's very tall, but there's no internal organization, so anything you put is just going to move straight to the bottom. That's why I have that organizer in here. But overall, it works great for probably what it was intended to actually hold. Before getting into the main compartment, the last thing I'll call out is this kind of side opening that the bag has here on the side. This is very common for camera backpacks in particular, it seems to me. Most of the camera bags that we reviewed here on the channel have something like this, where it allows you to kind of swing your bag around and reach in and grab your camera if you're walking around and you want to get a quick shot. So I'm really glad to see that this bag includes that as well. It's really well implemented. It has a really well protected zipper. It's very easy to get to. And so at the moment, I don't have any sort of camera cube in here. And typically how I use a lot of my camera bags, I don't actually use the camera cubes, as I'm not a super avid photographer. So what I like is the fact that this allows me the ability to reach in and grab something really quickly when I'm wearing the bag. So if I want to grab my headphones or some of my cables or something like that, I love having the side opening where I can reach in. I don't have to open the clamshell. I don't have to go into the roll top. So it's really nice to be able to have this quick access compartment. I love that there's also this small zipper compartment on the flap. It's not the biggest compartment at all, but it'll definitely hold a cable and some, either extra batteries for your camera or some memory cards or smaller accessories. So it's really nice that you can actually reach in and grab something really quickly from this little compartment or from the main compartment if you need to get there as well. Diving into kind of the laptop and the main compartment overall, the bag has this really nice thick YKK zipper here in the back that has really good water resistance. And I absolutely love that the bag can open up flat, not just for packing purposes, but I think this also benefits the laptop compartment as well. The first thing I'll talk about now that we have the bag opened in its clamshell form is the laptop compartment. And so the bag itself has a really well padded compartment. I really love how well it keeps the laptop protected all around. I love that it's elevated off the ground on the bottom. It has this really nice kind of elastic strap to help keep your device secure. And so before actually diving into the laptop compartment, let me jump into the tablet compartment first. And so this part of the bag actually has a dedicated sleeve for your tablet. And the inside of the compartment is actually lined with a nice fleece material that helps prevent micro scratching. And so this is a really spacious pocket. You know, it really feels like it's going to help keep your tablet secure. It's pretty large. Currently what I have in here is just my iPad mini 2, but I definitely think you could fit a regular 10-inch tablet for sure, and maybe even, you know, one of the new iPad Pros that are 12 inches. That would be a little bit of a tighter fit, but definitely a regular full-size tablet should fit in here just fine. And as I mentioned, the compartment offers a pretty good amount of padding. It's not the thickest padding, but it definitely feels like it's going to help provide a good amount of protection. And so moving into the actual laptop compartment, I really like how well it was implemented. It's really spacious. It will definitely hold up to a 15-inch MacBook Pro. Currently what I have in here is my 13-inch MacBook Pro. And as you can see, there's a good amount of space. So even if you have a thicker laptop, it should still fit in here pretty well. And the compartment itself offers a good amount of protection and padding. I was sad to see that unlike the tablet compartment, the laptop compartment doesn't have any fleece lining on it. So that would have been nice to have that extra bit of kind of protection from scratching for your laptop as well as for your tablet. So it's not a huge deal. The compartment itself is still pretty well padded. It feels like it's going to keep your laptop safe. And the padding that the compartment offers it definitely feels like it's going to keep your laptop safe. It's a little bit more flexible than what I would want to see, but still I had no doubts that my laptop was going to be safe as I was walking around the city with it. And you know, it's really easy to get at, slides out very easily. So really well implemented overall. Definitely feels like your device is going to be protected as you're on the go. So moving on to the main compartment. And so I really like how this main compartment is laid out. It has a lot of flexibility in how you can organize your stuff. And so first and foremost, as we had mentioned, I really love having this clamshell opening. It definitely complements the Rolltop opening very nicely. And so I really like how this compartment gives you the ability to kind of customize how you organize everything. So, you know, when you first get it, it's divided into two areas. You know, it has kind of the smaller area where you could either put the camera cube that we'll talk about in a little bit, or where you could just kind of have larger items that are accessible by the side pocket. And then you also have the smaller top area. But if you happen to be like me and require the ability to carry some taller items, it's really nice that you can actually collapse the divider that separates this into two areas and use this as just one larger compartment, which is what I ended up using for the items that I typically carry with me. And so, you know, I like the ability that I can use it either way. So if I don't have as many tall items with me, I can actually just keep things separate. But for my purposes, I actually collapse the divider and I use this as just one larger compartment. And so as I mentioned earlier, you know, these are just all the same items that I typically carry with me on a day-to-day basis. So the first thing I'll pull out here is my Beats Solo Wireless 2. And then I also have my Power Packer where I hold all my different cables and accessories. And then I just have a book that I've been reading, slowly making my way through. And then I have a larger kind of textbook that I've been using for work as well. And then I also have my BluePop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank, which I love carrying with me on a day-to-day basis. And then getting into the taller items that I have here, I actually have a folder to just hold receipts and different papers that I carry with me. And then of course I have my Levitate portable standing desk. And so especially for those last two items, you know, they definitely wouldn't have fit if I hadn't collapsed the middle area. So as you can see, there's plenty of space here overall. I really like, you know, when I don't have my taller items with me, the ability to just kind of put up the divider and use this to kind of organize my bag a little bit more efficiently, especially if you don't have a lot of pouches like I typically use for organizing my stuff. It's really nice to be able to separate the different areas of the bag since there's so much kind of volume in here. But overall, the main compartment was really well implemented. I love the flexibility of being able to use the full thing all together or to separate out into different compartments. I love, and I think it works really well with the different accessories that we'll talk about in a little bit. The one issue that I ran into, and I think this is kind of unavoidable, especially if you're going to have a bag like this where you can separate out into multiple compartments, is that this kind of middle area here that actually houses the two zippers could sometimes get in the way, especially if I didn't want to use the divider and I wanted to use the full space of the main compartment. This could sometimes get in the way for when I was packing, making it a little bit difficult, especially for those taller items. But overall, I was really impressed with how well I was able to organize everything in the main compartment and just how much space is offered by such a slim looking bag. The last pocket I want to talk about here, and I would have done this earlier, but I completely forgot just because there's so many different features to cover with this bag, is this quick access compartment on the top, which is also kind of a little bit hidden here with the Rolltop functionality. But this also has a really well protected YKK zipper, and I love when the bags have this quick access compartment. This is something that I call out in all the videos that I review, especially for daily bags. I love having this ability to be able to reach in and grab things that I typically need to access a lot on a day-to-day basis very quickly. And so this pocket was really well implemented. It has plenty of space. I was able to fit my Ray-Ban sunglasses with their case. I have my lightning charger for my phone. And then I also have my Apple Magic Mouse. And so I love that this entire compartment is fleece lined. So it's really good for any delicate items that you want to put in here. So this would be a perfect spot for your phone, especially if you don't have it in a case or anything like that. Or if I wanted to put my sunglasses by themselves without a case, this would help protect them from scratching. So I really love when these quick access compartments have that fleece lining. And I also love that you can pull it out and just clean it if you need to. And the compartment itself has a pretty good amount of space. I can't quite put my full hand in there, but as you saw, it was able to hold the items that I typically put in this type of compartment. So now that we've covered the main features of the bag, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the accessories that I mentioned earlier in the video. So on Wandrd's site, you can actually buy the bag all on its own just like this, and it would be a really capable day bag. But if you really want to make the most of this bag, it's really great to take a look at the different accessories that they've offered, as they've kind of created a system very similar to the system that Boundary created with their Prima system. And so these accessories really help take the bag to the next level. And I was really excited that Wandrd sent some of them for me to test out. And so the accessories we're going to be talking about are the removable waist straps, the small camera cube for the 21-liter version of this bag, and then they also have some removable straps that I referenced earlier as being used to kind of lash to the different nylon loops that are found all over the bag. But before we get into that, one of the other accessories that the company sent over for me to test out is actually a rain fly to protect the bag if you get caught in a monsoon type weather. And so on the bottom of the bag, there is kind of this zippered compartment here where you can actually store it. And it's very easy to pull out. And it's, the rain fly itself has a really nice kind of clip to help secure it to the bag. And so it's really nice to see this added. I'm not really sure how much I would actually end up using it. As I mentioned, I don't typically carry as much delicate camera gear, and this is actually one of the most weather resistant bags that I've held. Everything about the bag feels like it's going to hold up well to most type of rain, so this would almost feel like overkill, but it's still nice to have, and especially if you have a lot of delicate stuff with you, it never hurts to have a little bit of extra protection. And so next up, as I mentioned earlier, the bag itself has the ability to add waist straps. So the waist straps come with these really nice kind of butterfly clips that are very easy to attach and disattach. They definitely feel sturdy. It's really easy to get them on and off the bag. The waist straps themselves are pretty comfortable. I really like that they have the same gel type material that the straps and the back panel have, so they feel really soft and like they're going to help distribute the weight well. And one of the waist straps actually has a small kind of elastic, almost meshy pocket, which is great for putting a small accessory, maybe like an extra battery for your camera. One thing I would say is I do wish that they had just been included with the bag. They're pretty high quality, and I know the bag itself is very well made. But, I really like when backpacks actually include the waist straps as part of the initial price. The next accessory we're going to take a look at is these removable straps. And so I have to say, this is really cool. There are so many different ways that you can use this on this bag, and I have to say I absolutely love the flexibility that it offers. This reminds me a little bit to a lot of the strap system that the Peak Design backpack implemented, but I really like that this is a little more useful in my opinion. I love that you can actually remove the straps as opposed to just tucking them in all over the bag, because that takes up a lot of space and it can get really messy. I also feel that the clips included here are more secure, as you can actually fasten them as opposed to the ones on the Peak Design, which actually need to be tucked in and they could come loose in my opinion if you move around a lot. The straps themselves, they have clips on both sides. There's two straps. They're adjustable. They have a really nice feeling plastic clip, so it feels like it's going to hold up well. And I really love how easy it is to attach and disattach the clips. You thread it through one of the nylon loops, and then if you want to release, you just push it down and it immediately unclips. And so as I was mentioning during the video, there's a lot of different spots that you can attach these. So first off, they attach to the bottom of the bag, so you can use them like traditional compression straps that you would find on a lot of camera bags. I think this is something that's very common. So far, most of the camera bags that I've checked out typically have some sort of compression straps on the bottom, which is typically a good spot to hold something like a tripod. In addition to having those nylon loops on the bottom, the bag also has loops across the front of the bag. And so it's really nice that they have loops on the front where you can also use the same straps to attach things like a yoga mat. That's what they used in their promotional video when they first launched the Kickstarter for this bag. I also love the ability that you can maybe attach a skateboard here to the front using these straps. So So really nice flexibility there overall. So one of the last uses here that I found for these straps is on the inside. When you actually lay this down clamshell style, there's loops near the top of the laptop compartment and on the bottom of the bag that allow you to attach these straps. And what this allows you to do is actually wear the bag on your front instead of your back and access everything that you have in the main compartment. So it's really cool how you can use both straps to hold this open, and you kind of open it up clamshell style while you're wearing it, and then you have almost like a mobile workstation where you can reach in, and especially if you're a photographer and you have tons of different lenses and things that you're switching between, you can just reach in while you're wearing it without putting the bag down and just be able to easily grab and swap things out. Now the last accessory I want to talk about is the small camera cube that goes with the 21-liter version of the bag that I have. And so overall, I was really impressed with just how sturdy this feels. I really feel like I could just throw this around and like my device is going to be safe. It's really padded on all the different sides. I like that it has a handle that allows you to carry it if you don't want to, just put it inside of your bag. It also has the same nylon straps that the rest of the backpack had, so I'm assuming that there's ways to pair this with the removable accessory straps that we just looked at. But just diving into the cube itself, I really like that it has both the top and side access. So this side right here is actually what would pair with the bag, so that when you open that side access compartment that we looked at earlier, you can actually open the cube as well, and you can reach in and easily grab your camera. And if you lay the bag down clamshell style, you can actually open it from the top and be able to get a bird's eye view of everything that you have in the cube. The cube itself has really nice, water guarded zippers as well. So even if you're using this outside of the bag, your stuff is still going to be protected. Opening the cube up on the top, the first thing you see is it has kind of a removable protective insert here. This is really well padded. This is kind of what the rest of the cube feels like on the outside, and when you touch this, it just feels super thick and sturdy, like it's going to help the cube keep its shape and well protected. This is one of the things that I noticed when I was testing out the Boundary Prima system in the Verge case, is that it didn't feel this well padded. It didn't feel that rigid, and it didn't necessarily feel like it was actually going to keep your devices protected. So I really like the protection aspect that this camera cube has added. And so just looking at the inside of the cube, the first thing you'll notice is how many different dividers the company has provided with the cube itself. So there's actually 4 different ones that allow for tons of different configurations. The dividers themselves feel super sturdy. I really like this kind of rough foam that they're made out of. It feels like it's going to keep everything in their place. The Velcro is nice and strong, and they're very flexible, so you can really just kind of organize this however you want. I don't have that many accessories, as you can currently see, so I just have my camera and my battery charger. So I can actually remove most of these organizers. But for people who have a lot of camera gear, or if you want to put a drone in here, you can configure it to make space for that. So there's a lot of flexibility in how you can configure and organize the different accessories that you want to carry with you using this cube. And another nice note about the way the cube was designed to integrate with the bag is that it doesn't waste any space. So it fits perfectly into the bottom of the Provoke bag. So as opposed to the Boundary supply system, where when you use the Verge case, you actually had it lifted up from the bottom of the bag a little bit, which ended up wasting some valuable packing space. You have no such issue here with this one. It fits perfectly right into the bottom of the bag. But overall, I think that as a camera accessory, the cube itself is super well done. I think they really put a focus on people who are hardcore photographers and have a lot of gear, and are very concerned with keeping all that expensive gear safe. And I think the cube does a really great job of that. And so the last thing I want to talk about with the bag is how this bag would work for quick trips. And so I talked a few times during the video about the flexibility that the Rolltop aspect offers, and I really love that it has that extra bit of space that make this a pretty capable bag for a quick weekend trip. So what I want to go ahead and do is show how this would work with some of the items that I've used in similarly sized bags in the past, such as the OnePlus travel backpack or with the Timbuktu Blink packs. So what I actually went ahead and did is filled up my double-sided packing cube that you've seen in a lot of my videos, and that fits in the main compartment very comfortably. And so for the purposes of this packing cube, I actually collapsed that middle section to make this just one large compartment again. I mentioned earlier in the video, if you want to leave that divider up, that almost already separates the bag into its own kind of packing cube. So, the bottom could be where you put some shirts and underwear and stuff like that, and on the top you can put a dop kit and some shoes. But for the way that I like to pack, I still like to use my larger packing cube, so I just collapsed that middle section. And that kind of takes up the majority of the backpack space. But because of the Rolltop, I actually have a little bit of leftover space that I can use at the top. And so as I mentioned, when I have just the large double-sided packing cube put in, it takes up most of the space of the bag, so it comes up to about here. So as you can see, I haven't even reached the piece where the Rolltop is needed, so I still have even a little bit of room in here. But I'll go ahead and open up the Rolltop for now just to see how many more items I could put in. And so if I was taking a quick trip, typically what I would want to do is take at least my dop kit. So I have my toiletry kit here that I could put in at the top. And then I'd also want to have an additional pair of shoes. So what I have is a pair of Toms here that fit in there very comfortably. And so as you can see, there's still a little bit of space at the top, but if I fill it all the way to the brim, it gets very hard to kind of at least roll the closure back into itself so that I could actually roll the bag down. And so what I want to do is roll so that the Velcro can catch on each other, and then I can extend the metal hook out and it'll easily come up and grab one of the nylon straps, and I can pack that down pretty tight. And so with the Rolltop, I can definitely fit enough stuff for a long weekend trip. As you can see, this now includes my larger packing cube, my DOP kit, which isn't the smallest one that I have. I just put kind of a bigger one in there to see how much space this actually has, as well as an extra pair of shoes to use while I'm out and about. One thing to note is that this does look a little bit funky when the Rolltop is all the way up. It sticks out kind of funky here at the sides, and it just doesn't quite match the rest of the look of the bag. So it looks a little bit strange as this full all the way, but typically if you're traveling, you'll probably won't have it this full most of the time. Once you get to your destination, you'll take some of this stuff out and you can roll the bag back down to its smaller shape and then have a great day bag ready to go. So that's really awesome when bags have this kind of expandability and give you the flexibility to use both for traveling and for daily use. And so overall, I've been super impressed with the Prvke bag from Wandrd. I think it's been a fantastic daily bag. It's a really great bag if you happen to carry a lot of camera gear with you on a regular basis, and it also works well for even a quick weekend trip or something like that. You can purchase the Prvke bag from Wandrd's site, and it starts at about $186. Now, that price is for the bag on its own, but they also have a variety of bundles that you can purchase that will include a lot of the accessories that you've seen in the video today. So if you purchase their travel bundle, that actually includes the rain fly, the removable attachment straps for the bottom and the front of the bag, as well as the removable waist strap, and that costs about $229. And then they also have a camera bundle, which includes all the accessories that I just mentioned, as well as the small camera cube that we viewed earlier in the video. And so the camera bundle is actually going to cost about $268 to $270, so it is a little bit of an investment. However, as we talked about during the video, the bag is really well made. All of the accessories have been really well thought out to kind of work together with this bag to form a really cool ecosystem, and it all feels like it's going to hold up very well over the long term. And so there's also a 31-liter version of the Prvke bag as well, and so that's a little bit more expensive, and it also has a larger packing cube that's meant to work a little bit better with that size. And that bag looks really great as well, so if you need a little bit more space or you want to use this as more of a travel bag, I definitely recommend you check that out. You can actually purchase both Prvke bags from Amazon as well. And I'll definitely be sure to include links to both Wandrd's site and Amazon as well if you want to go ahead and check that out in the comments below. It seems like on Amazon there's a little bit less flexibility in the configurations that you can purchase. There just seems to be one or two options. So if you want more of a chance to customize what you want to buy, or if you just want to get the bag on its own and save a little bit of money, I definitely recommend taking a look at Wandrd's site. And so at anywhere between $185 to $260, the bag itself is a bit of an investment. It's a really good quality bag. And it's kind of in the same price range as some of the other bags that we've talked about during the video. The bag that comes most closely in mind to this one is the Boundary Supply Prima system, which we looked at a few weeks ago. And so that's a really great bag as well. I definitely enjoyed using that, and that also has kind of that daily / photography use mentality. And so that bag includes kind of a little case that you can use to hold your camera, as well as a few other accessories and the waist strap. And so that costs about $200 to $220. And with the fact that that includes the accessories, that is a slightly better deal price-wise. However, I do feel that a lot of the different accessories and quality of the items that Wandrd offers is going to hold up a little bit better. I think the Prima backpack was a really great bag. It has a lot of flexibility, and I do like that it included a lot of its accessories within that lower price point. But I also believe this bag is going to hold up a little bit better over time. And I just think it's a little bit more useful for photography, as well as if you want to take, a quick weekend trip. I do think that this is going to be able to hold a little bit more. So both bags are really great and definitely worth checking out. I also think this compares really well to the Peak Design Everyday Backpack. That bag is about $259, and so it's a little bit pricier than this one. And so the bags have really different, aesthetics. They both seem to be really geared towards photographers. I feel like the materials on this bag are going to hold up well to a variety of different environments. I know the Peak Design bag has a really good build quality, but there's just something about that material that it's made out of that I don't feel is going to hold up as well to water or to just rougher use than this Prvke bag. And I think a lot of the preference between the two bags will come down not just to the aesthetics and the build quality, but also the type of style of bag that you like to use. So the Peak Design bag has kind of a little bit more flexibility in how you can access the main area of the bag. It's a little bit of a top loader. It also has side access on both sides, but it's not a clamshell bag, whereas this bag is a roll top, which provides just a little bit more flexibility in how much space you have, and it also happens to open up like a clamshell bag. So they're both kind of different approaches, and I think which one is better for you will ultimately depend on how you like to organize your stuff. And so the last bag that I'll kind of call out that isn't exactly related to the camera bags that I've just been discussing is the Nomadic Travel Pack. I think it's another bag worth checking out kind of in this price range, and if you're looking for a bag that's going to be a little bit better suited for longer term travel, I might recommend taking a look at the Travel Pack. But this bag is much better if you're looking for a bag that's going to be able to handle a lot of photography gear or just have a little bit more flexibility. I also like how small you can compress this bag down for daily use because of the Rolltop functionality that offers. And so overall, I was just really impressed at how well the Prvke bag compared with all these other bags I've mentioned. When I reviewed each of those, they got really great reviews, and I was really impressed. And it's great to see that the Prvke is able to hold up very well next to those bags and offer a lot of value at a similar price range. So, I've definitely enjoyed using this. I really think that this is the photographer's backpack to have. And I'm just really excited to continue trying it out and using it on a variety of trips and just also on my day-to-day basis. So I want to go ahead and thank Wandrd again for sending the bag for me to test out. I'm really excited I got to share it with you guys. If there's anything that I may have left out or you have questions on any of these specific features, please let me know in the comments. And if you guys found this video useful, please go ahead and give us a like below. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you guys so much.